Guys, I'm Megan Simone and I own Social Synergy Company, a TikTok marketing agency. So as we all know, TikTok is one of the most powerful social media platforms out there, and it's largely due to its algorithm. So how does the TikTok algorithm really work, and how can brands take advantage of it to really get their brand to the next level on TikTok? After exploring TikTok's newsroom, I was actually able to find an article directly from TikTok explaining how their algorithm works. So I thought we could jump into it together right now, and I can show you how TikTok explains their algorithm and how you can use it to your advantage to really grow on TikTok.
Okay guys, so I've pulled up the article directly from TikTok's newsroom, but I just wanted to explain a little bit more in detail before we jump into the article. I'm sure as you guys know, when you open Instagram and Facebook, you immediately are seeing content from the people that you're following. But TikTok has a completely different approach. They actually send the user directly to what's called the For You page. So once a user lands on the For You page, if you're not a TikTok user, you might not be quite sure what that means. But basically it's a feed that shows the user a stream of videos curated to their interests. So this feed is powered through a recommendation system that delivers content to users that each user is likely to be interested in. And no For You page is exactly the same. Everyone's For You page is customized directly for that user. So let's jump into this article and just kind of go over, what TikTok's talking about here, how they explain their algorithm, and what should you know as a brand in order to succeed on TikTok. So the basics about the recommendation system. So, they're taking into account user preference as expressed through interactions on the app, like posting a comment or following on an account. So this signals to the recommendation system to gauge the content the users like, as well as the content that users are likely to skip. So what factors contribute for the For You page? So TikTok says here that the system recommends content based on a ranking system that's based on a combination of factors starting from the interests you express as a new user, and then it adjusts for things that you indicate you're not interested in too, to form a personalized For You page. So recommendations. What is TikTok looking at in order to recommend videos to a user? First of all, they're looking at user interactions. So they're looking at what videos users are liking, sharing, accounts that they follow, what they're commenting, what content they're creating to provide, the best recommendations. They're also looking at video information like captions, sounds, hashtags in order to know which videos to push out and which videos to leave in the dust. And then finally, they're also looking at device and account settings. So they're also looking at the user's language preference, what country they're in, what device they're using. So these factors are really included to make sure that the system is optimized for performance. But for video information and device and account settings, these factors are a lower weight in the recommendation system relative to other data points that they measure, because video information and device and account settings aren't as important as what content the user is interacting with. So all of these factors together get processed by the recommendation system, and they're weighted based on their value to a user. So, for example, a strong indicator of interest, like whether a user finishes watching a longer video from beginning to end, would receive greater weight than a weak indicator, such as the video's viewer and creator are both in the same country. So it's definitely true that a video is likely to receive more views if it's posted by an account that has more followers. But you don't necessarily have to have a large follower base to get your video out there to tons of people. And that's what TikTok is basically stating right here. This is huge for brands, and it's a huge contrast from other social media, platforms like Instagram and Facebook, where the amount of followers you have is super, super important to, getting your content out there. With TikTok, of course, you want as many followers as possible, but the amount of followers you have is nothing compared to what data points they're looking at, like, what viewers are liking, what they're sharing, what accounts they follow, content that they're creating. So, you don't necessarily have to have a huge following on TikTok to get your video out there to as many people as possible. Okay, so TikTok also talks about, the challenges of having a recommendation engine, which is a very different engine or algorithm than Instagram and Facebook has. So one of the big challenges with recommendation engines is they can start to limit your experience, which is what they call a filter bubble. So by optimizing for personalization and relevance, there is a risk that the user will just continue to see only content they like and no other forms of videos. So that could be a big problem, right? So if a user is only liking video about dogs, if the recommendation system is only sending them videos of dogs, they're missing out on tons of other content, which also means that when you're posting a video, it's not going to get seen by as many people, because the recommendation system is just providing, okay, this person likes dogs, I'm going to send them dog videos, or this person likes cats, I'm going to send them cat videos, versus if, they fix the problems with the recommendation engine, they're actually able to send out more content to the people who like dogs and cats, but about different things, just to test out if they're interested in those things as well. So this is a concern that TikTok claims they're taking very seriously, to try and maintain the recommendation system and make sure it's as effective as possible. So one of the ways that they are tackling this concern is by trying to keep the For You page interesting and varied. So they take content that the user likes a lot. So let's say that they're only liking dog videos. So they're going to show that user a lot of dog videos, but they're also going to mix in new types of content to see if they like that content as well. So there's a few other things, right, where the For You page actually won't show two videos in a row made by the same sound or by the same creator. This is to make sure that obviously that the user doesn't get bored. If they're seeing literally 10 videos in a row with the same sound on every single video, that would be a problem. Users would get very disinterested very quickly. So they make sure that they're doing that. But they also take into account your similar interests. So like, for example, if you like dogs, maybe you also like cats. And then maybe you also like guinea pigs because you like animals in general. That's kind of a good example of like what TikTok is doing to make sure that their content is varied. So maybe they would show more animal related videos on a profile of someone who's only liking dog videos, just to make sure that they are interested in other topics as well. Okay, so another thing is diversifying the recommendations. So TikTok claims that diversity is really essential to maintaining a thriving global community. Sometimes a user will come across a video in their feed that doesn't appear to be relevant to their express interest, or they'll show a video that has amassed a huge number of likes. So this is really important, and it's an intentional thing that TikTok has done within their algorithm to bring a diversity of videos into your For You feed, to give additional opportunities to stumble upon new content categories, discover new creators, and experience new perspectives and ideas as they scroll through the feed. So TikTok also mentions that by offering different videos from time to time, the system is actually able to get a better sense of what's popular among a wider range of audiences to help provide other TikTok users a really good experience as well. So their goal really is to find a balance between suggesting content that's relevant to the user, but also helping them find content and creators that might encourage them to explore experiences they might not have seen otherwise. And then the last thing to keep in mind for brands is that there are some safeguards in place for the viewing experience for users. So they also have to obviously design this system with safety as a consideration. So, they do have a review process to make sure that videos are not being published on TikTok that depict things that are really graphic or that are promoting illegal activities, for example. So for videos like this, they might not actually push them out to as many people's For You pages, or they might not push them out at all, because if a user, let's say for example, there's a user who is a surgeon and they like watching videos of surgeries that are on TikTok. So obviously that person is desensitized to watching a surgery take place on TikTok. But if a person who's just on there to look at dog videos randomly has a surgery video come up with like a graphic, example of something going on in a surgery, they might freak out, right? And they might be like, oh my gosh, I did not want to see this. So TikTok is also taking that into account. They're taking into account what things might be disturbing or too graphic for people, and they are kind of shadow banning that content to make sure that it's pushed out to feeds that are appropriate. And then lastly to keep in mind is that videos that have been uploaded that are under review or spam, if you're posting a video and TikTok thinks that it's spam, or videos that are trying to artificially increase traffic to a TikTok account, those also might be ineligible to be on other people's For You pages and For You feeds. So it's really important to take these factors into account when you are creating TikTok videos to make sure that you're creating videos that are going to go out there to a huge amount of people instead of just a very small subset of users. So that is a really good thing to keep in mind.
Okay, so now that we've gone over the algorithm more in depth, let's jump into what this means for brands and what steps you can take as a brand to succeed on TikTok. Like we saw in the TikTok article talking about the algorithm, user interaction weighs a lot more heavily than other factors on the platform. So your mission is to produce videos that the user is going to watch all the way through. This does really, really good for the algorithm, and it's going to encourage TikTok to push out your videos to more people. This is a lot more important than how many followers you have, because your content can go viral on the platform as long as other users find it valuable and interesting and engaging. Number 2 is to develop a niche that you can go after within TikTok. So since TikTok shares content with users based on what niches they're interested in, you should come up with a couple niches you want to target initially, test them out, see how they do, and then double down on the niches that are working especially well for your brand. Doubling down on what works and what is performing well on TikTok is always the best strategy to try to get it out there to the most amount of people possible. So if you see a niche that you're testing out is doing really well, I would double down on it, create even more videos surrounding that topic, and see how far TikTok will push out your videos. And finally, number 3, although we do want to build a following on TikTok, we do want to have a lot of followers, that is not as important as user engagement. So making sure that your videos are awesome enough to get a ton of likes, a ton of comments, shares, views, any type of engagement you can get on your content, you want that to happen. So make sure you're focusing really heavily on how engaging your content is, because that is what's going to encourage TikTok to push it out there to as many people as possible. And that matters so much more than how many followers that you have. Don't get me wrong, gaining followers is awesome. We're going to talk about it in later videos, how to gain followers and do really well on TikTok and build a community. But when you're first starting out, making sure that you are focusing on engagement is going to be the real key to getting a community started on TikTok. So like I said, I'm Megan Simone. I own Social Synergy Company, a TikTok marketing agency, and I hope this gave you a really good overview of how the algorithm works, what TikTok is focusing on and pushing out, because that should really advise you on how your brand should go forward and what you should do to succeed on TikTok. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next video.